Hey, this is Sean O'Shea from The Good Dog, and this is Dodger, who you know about because you're adopting him. We're just shooting a quick video to give you a little bit of inside scoop of what we've done with him and how to make sure he's most successful with you guys and most comfortable. Dodger's got a prong collar on. He came with this one. It's a quick release, which isn't necessarily my favorite because it's a quick release and it can sometimes unlatch. But we've also got a safety backup on here. So just to show you real quick, so you can open this up from pretty much any length, right, like this, and then close, you squeeze the prong and pinch and put it in like that. I'll do it again real slow. So I hold this link here, push up with this one, see I created this space right here, and then squeeze, pull up, and it's out. So that's one way. Then we've also got the quick release, which is over here. The quick release, you just squeeze this little scissor snap and it unlocks the whole prong collar. Now the challenge with this, let me unlock this as well. The challenge with this is that you have to feed it back through. So let me take this carabiner off. This is our backup plan. So this is a challenge to do in person, so I'm hoping that it'll be a sufficient little tutorial here that you can pick up how to do this. So, you're going to hold this end and this end of the chain, feed it through. Actually, let's do it on him because that'll be more real. Feed it through, take this end, and then we reach down around here and we grab the scissor snap, and then we squeeze it and we put the link in like that and let it go. We're back again. I'll do it one more time. Squeeze this to release. It undoes the whole thing. When we go to put it on, you take this end, and you take this end of the chain, see the dead ring right here in the middle, give it the lay of the land, and then you go around him like this, put this through there, and then bring this up, and connect like that. There we go. So that's on, and once again the other way, the quick way, the real quick release is just to go like this. And you can decide whichever way feels comfortable. Prong collar is not supposed to be loose. It should be a good snug fit. This is a little bit looser than I prefer, but he's a pretty mild guy, so you don't really need a super duper snug fit. But you don't want it down here. This is where his regular collar goes. We don't want the prong collar down there because it's far more effective the higher up it is. So just when you go to put it on, always start at the top, right behind his ears, right under his jaw and behind his ears. It's going to slide down a little bit, but let's aim for this, and that's a good starting point. Also, if you start down too low to put this on, it'll be too snug and you won't be able to actually get the chain through, and you'll be at an impasse there. And then what we do, because prong collars every once in a while can release, and with a quick release they can release sometimes more often, is we put a carabiner on here, and this goes through this ring right here, like that, and then connects to his regular collar. And you can change out his regular collar if you want to get him a new one and do all that, but just they all have a D-ring of some sort on here. And we just put that like that. So what happens is that say you're out on a walk with Dodger and say either one of the links here comes loose or he leans against something and unlocks this, right? You're out on a busy street. He's not going anywhere. He's still connected to you. So you can hold on to him, put his collar back on, and he's safe. So nothing happens to him. And then when you take this off of him, you can just leave this on. You don't need to leave it on his collar. You can just leave it on his actual prong like this when you put it away. So here we go. Put this back on. So do it on the dog. Boom, boom, boom. Take his carabiner. Connect to there. Looking pretty high tech. And all set, make sure his collar's not caught, and then always make sure that the leash goes on this ring, not on this ring. They're kind of placed in similar places and they look similar. This one is more of a D shape and has a swivel. That's where the leash goes. This one's just circular. That's the dead ring. That's where the carabiner goes. So now he's all set. I'd prefer that you guys get a bigger leash. Bigger meaning wider, not longer. This is a little bit hard to hold on to, and he's a strong guy. So personally, I would rather have more in my hands to hold on to. This is more suitable for a kind of a tiny little dog. He's only had a few days of training. Mainly what it's been is to help him decompress and help him get more comfortable. The training's been just kind of an additional little bonus. Mainly what we're looking to do is evaluate him, see if he's got any triggers, anything he's uncomfortable or weird about. My dog's playing. It sounds bad. But so that's what we're going through right now, is we're going to go through his basic commands, and I'll just kind of demo those. And what your job is going to be is, like I said, they're not finished, is to continue to cultivate them, continue to have him get better and better at them. What I prefer is when you first bring a dog in, Dodger's he's a nervous, insecure guy. I mean, he doesn't have bad nerves like some dogs, but he's definitely unsure about a lot of things. So that's something you want to bear in mind. Too much pressure from other dogs or kids or people too quickly is going to make him nervous. He just needs more time to feel comfortable with things. So your job as his owner is to advocate for him and make sure that dogs and other people don't pressure him unduly. That's how you can make him lose trust and start to feel like he has to advocate for himself. He has a tendency when he's faced with new things or things that kind of unnerve him to growl like that. So it's good for you to know that growling doesn't necessarily mean he's an aggressive dog or anything like that. The growling is just a communication that he's uncomfortable, that he's unsure. So your job is to honor that. Don't back away from him or anything like that, but it's to, if you see somebody walking up, you want to be able to put him in a sit or give him a little information with the leash, a little pop on the leash, and let him know, hey, knock it off, you don't need to growl. The last thing you want to do is soothe him, which is a tendency most owners have. So they'll see a dog growling or unsure, he'll get wide-eyed. A lot of Dodger stuff, you'll see kind of this kind of stuff. Don't, oh, it's okay, Dodger, don't do that. You reinforce it, you make the behavior worse. Much better to give him something else to do or tell him not to do it with a little pop on the leash and a no. That'll make him feel more comfortable. It's counterintuitive for humans, but that's what works with dogs. So if you just bring dogs into the situation, if you're at a friend's house and you just let a bunch of misbehaving wild dogs come and just pressure him, he's likely to growl and he may even snap. He's been really great with my dogs, but that's because I make sure that everybody behaves appropriately. Same goes if you were to bring him somewhere where there's a bunch of kids and they just go, Dodger, and they're all excited to see a cute dog and they all pressure him. He could growl and get uncomfortable with that as well. Your job, once again, is to move slow enough that he feels comfortable. My suspicion is that with a bit of time, he'll start to unlock a lot of that stuff and get more and more comfortable, and he'll need less and less time, and you'll probably just see a real easygoing guy. But we got to help him get to that place. God knows what his history's been, so he hasn't had a lot of guidance, a lot of information, and he hasn't learned to trust people as much as a dog that's lived with a lot of good structure and leadership and guidance. So he's an awesome guy. He's a sensitive guy. But he just needs you guys to advocate for him and to help him get more comfortable with his environment. So no intense pressure from people, kids, or other dogs. It doesn't mean he's a statue that can't be touched. It just means let him tell you how he feels about something. So if he's standing there and you bring people over and he's not going up to them, that's a conversation that he's not interested in meeting them. So just honor that. Give him time. When he's interested and curious, he'll move towards them and he'll start to go check them out. So that's super important stuff. Best way to undermine trust with your dog is to have people or dogs or anything move too fast and you not control it. That makes him feel unsafe. That makes him feel he's got to take care of himself. That's not what you want him to do. So we have to walk a fine line with Dodger, which is we have to be firm but fair. We have to be gentle, but we have to guide him. So he has a bit of a shutting down thing he'll do. You'll see when I do some of the commands, sometimes he'll be reluctant about the sit, he'll be reluctant about the down, or even to move with me sometimes. On the walk, he's pretty easy, but sometimes working like this, he's not familiar with it, and he'll just kind of like lock up a little bit. So we have to guide him through it. We don't want to be harsh with him, but we have to be resolved that, hey, we're going to work you through this. Be gentle, but be resolute and firm, and that we're going to push him through that stuff. So don't baby him. And don't be hard on him. Just kind of walk a nice line of real balance with him, just like you would a child. He needs information and help and guidance. So, but he doesn't need babying or the soft stuff like that. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of place. Place is the best thing you guys can have when you bring Dodger into your home. You should have a placemat. And this you can be even a dog bed, can be anything like that. It's a dog bed over there, obviously more luxurious. Oakley's enjoying it. So place is a really, really important command to have in your house. And you can go to my website and you can see my videos on YouTube. We'll send the information along and you can see actually how I do that beyond this video if you want to see the importance of it. But it'll cause Dodger to feel more comfortable in your house and he'll be less anxious. So if you just bring him in and drop the leash and let him go, chances are he's going to be a little, he'll be curious, but he might also become anxious about things. So the more you tell him what to do, the more comfortable he becomes, the more comfortable he feels. So with us, we're making sure that he's in command a lot because he's transitioning. So place command is a really great command for him so he doesn't rush the door when people come in. So he knows that when people come in, it's not his job to do anything about it except hang out and be relaxed. So place is what he needs to be doing a fair amount of time. So don't feel bad about having him in place and that Dodger's just kind of laying there. It's good stuff for him to decompress and learn to have an on and off switch, not just doing whatever he wants to do. So the release is okay. You just say it kind of light. Okay, Dodger. Okay, come on, bud. So here's the shutting down thing. Come on, let's go. Good boy. So I used a teeny bit of leash pressure and more guidance, to bring him over. Once again, it's that firm, resolute, but very sensitive and fair with him. So I want to help him do what I need him to do, but I got to make sure he does it. Place. Good. So I say place right before I get on it. Think there's a bubble around place, like a foot. A bubble of like a foot radius around it, and you're just going to say the word place, kind of just matter of fact, right before he gets onto it. Not you, but him. Guides him onto it, and then once he's on it, in place, he's not allowed to move off of it. He can stand up. No. He can stand up, he can sit down, he can lay down, he can roll over, he can do whatever, but he's not allowed to leave it. So this is a rule that creates comfort for the dog. And he's not to a place where he can handle major distractions yet. Your job is to reinforce this. He should be spending, over the course of a day, a good few hours of the day in place. So I'll do this a few more times, give you a feel for it. Okay, come on, bud. No. Let's go. Dodge. Come on, let's go. So that's that locking up thing. It's easy for people to go, oh, he's sad or he doesn't want to do it. Well, that just makes him feel more unsure and uncomfortable if you allow him to stay stuck in that. So my job as his leader is to guide him through that and give him information so he can break out of that unsure kind of thing. Let's go, bud. Place. No. It's got to be all the way on. There we go. Now we've done a fair amount of repetitions with this, so he actually has a fairly good understanding of it. But Belle's making some sound in there, my other dog, and so he's a little distracted by that. So it might be causing him to not be totally locked into what he's doing here. Do a few more. Okay. Come on, bud. Good boy. So lots of praise. This guy needs lots of praise to kind of keep him motivated. Dodge. Come on, bud. Place. Good boy. Good boy. Very nice. And he knows, because he's done a bunch of this, that he's most likely going to be there for a long time. So what you'll see is he tends to kind of sit, and then usually he'll lay down pretty quickly afterwards. But if he doesn't, he's allowed to sit there and do his thing. So, but what he's not allowed to do is get off of there. So. So the door being open doesn't mean Dodger's allowed to go out. It means he just has to hang out. So this is really good work for him. So work up with small distractions like this to where he can get to the point where he can tolerate guests coming in, doorbells ringing, kids running around, whatever it is, and he doesn't move. Okay, come on, bud. Good. Once again, firm but fair with him. Come on. Place. Good boy. So he cleaned it up, got himself all the way on there. I'll fix this little... There we go. Good. So this is place command. May not look like much, but place command can change a dog's world. It can cause a dog that's insecure, if you practice it enough, to start to feel far more secure about his world just because he's getting information from you and he knows that he doesn't have to handle the job of the house, being the guardian, being all these things. Yes, it's great that our dogs will bark once in a while and let us know somebody's at the door, but we don't want them stressed with feeling they have to handle everything.